Hey y'all, how are you? I'm out here in my gypsy van pondering last night's storms. How are you? Did you make it through the storms okay? If you are in the Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma region, the tornadoes everywhere last night. Uh, Fortunately, we are okay, but I will say a tornado touched down here 1 mile from the house. It danced around us, and we have no damage here. Lots of water standing in the yard, but we are, again, very, very fortunate that we did not get the destruction that is just down the street from us. There were several homes destroyed, lots of injuries, just 1 mile from us on our same highway. 1 mile. So, very, very blessed that I am able to come to you this morning and talk to you. Also, down the street, about 7 miles from here, down around the lake, there was a mobile home that was flipped into the lake with people in it. So, very scary, scary, scary night here. If you were in any of the areas that were affected by the tornadoes last night, let me know in the comments that you're okay and where you're from, the general area, and how did y'all fare there. So I'm starting out talking about that this morning because we talk about preps all the time on here. And if a tornado did take away your house, your preps would go in it. So, what are you doing to prepare for that? I'm going to give you a couple tips here. What I do, I don't store everything in one location for several reasons, but one is if there's floods, if there's tornadoes or hurricanes, because we live closer to the Gulf Coast, and there are hurricanes that come through this area. Oh, what are you going to do? And stuff. So, like I said, I put my preps in several different locations. So, if in the area I'm at, I lose something or it floods here or whatever, I do have all of that stuff in another place, like a storage building or other family members' houses, or I don't know. For me, that's what I do with it. I have some in storage. I have separated out stuff to several different family members. They know it's my stuff, but we share stuff if we need to. So it's not all in one place. So don't leave your preps all in one place. A lot of people bury some stuff and they have caches at different places. I have not done anything like that yet, but I have thought about that. It does not need to be in one location. So let me know in the comments where you would take yours. Give me some ideas. Besides what I'm doing now, what are other places to separate your stuff out so it's not all in the same place with a weather event comes or some other kind of catastrophe comes. So that is that this morning. Also, in this area, they have disaster shelters open. They also have, last night, they did have the tornado shelters to go to. So, do you know where yours are in your area? I did not know where the ones was for this area, but it was on Facebook last night, so that was good to know. But I will research more so I know where to go if I needed to and if I could. That's the other thing. This storm came, the tornado on the ground was pretty quick, and so we didn't really have time to get anywhere else. So think about those things. Another thing, let's see, your gardens. We've talked about this before. These kind of storms come through. Everybody who says they're dependent on only their gardens, they're only wanting fresh fruit or vegetables, whatever I meant, vegetables, and they're not going to eat canned food and they're not going to store canned food. If you were in this area or one of the ones that this all happened last night, you would be starving to death, let me just say, because a lot of the gardens did get wiped out. We are very, very fortunate ours did not. There is a lot of standing water, but we built our rows up so high that the water is just in the middle, so it didn't drown out our seeds or anything that's already there. It looks good this morning, but in those other areas it would not. Or if you're in a lower lying place, or you don't have container gardens or any of that, it would have been wiped out immediately, and then you'd be starving. So get those canned goods, get them into several locations, start thinking about that. Also, many of you say, well, my freezer's full and I'm not going to get any of the canned stuff. I have all this fresh meat and I'm not going to do that. Well, last night we lost power for several hours. I do know that a freezer, if you keep it closed, the food will stay frozen for a long time, and several hours isn't a big deal. But when the hurricanes come, it's not just several hours. It's sometimes several weeks, sometimes just several days. And if you don't have plenty of gas for those generators, or generators at all, or some way to keep power to that freezer, you're going to lose all of that meat. So have you thought about, if that was to happen, do you know how to can your meat? If you don't, you need to start getting books, canning jars, and start learning those skills so you don't lose all of that. It can be preserved in canning jars. Also, an interesting thing, if you don't know about it, is to read up on the way our ancestors preserve meat with salt and smoking it, of course. Those are some skills that would be great to have and that you'll need if you don't have power. So get you some books. When I say get you some books, when the power goes out, the internet goes out as well. Storms take it out. So if you need to know these things, you need some actual real books. So get you some books. There's some great ones I'll do. I have done some reviews on some. If you go back and look on my channel, there's some in there. One about curing meats, and I'm sure there's some about herbs and all that kind of stuff. But I'll do some more. I'll get out and pick my favorites and do some reviews on those and show you those. But in the meantime, do your own research too and start knowing those things. Okay. Other thing I wanted to talk to you about is your vehicle ready if you needed to escape? Do you have gas in it? Are you keeping a vehicle full of gas? You need to. You need to top it off. At least have half a tank in there where you could get somewhere if you needed to. You could have got, well, I don't guess. You probably couldn't have got ahead of this weather event yesterday because it was 3 states wide as far as I know. And in every town you could think of, Texas was popping off, pop, 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 everywhere. There was not a way to escape it last night. So, but if you need to get somewhere after the storm dies down or whatever, you will be ready to go. When there's no power, gas pumps and things like that don't work. Do you have cash on hand? ATMs, things like that don't work. You need to be thinking about that. I have a little cash put away. That way, if I need to go, and don't keep it all in one place either. Keep some in all different places where you're going to be able to get that, because people looking are people looking, or you might be having a ride with somebody else. So stash some in your go bag, stash some in your car somewhere, hide it somewhere, somewhere in the house where you have several different places that it's at. People say, well, this is, SHTF situation. They're thinking only war. They're thinking only civil unrest, things like that. It could be a weather event, people. It could be a weather event. It could be a loss of your job. It could be that you're sick for the week and nobody else is working. You're the single person, or you're the head of the household for the family, and there's no groceries. So start thinking in those capacities. I just wanted to come talk to you a minute because last night was for real. A tornado spinning everywhere, people flying off into the lake, and cars spinning everywhere, and houses flying, and oh my God. Y'all think about that. Again, I hope you all are safe. I hope, and I'm not making light of it at all, but sometimes we got to laugh a little bit to keep from crying, because it was pretty horrible and a pretty scary thing. So, hope you all are well. Again, check in with me in the comments. Let me know you're okay. Let me know where you're from. Let me know how it was in your area. Give the video a like. Subscribe if you will, so my videos will be seen around YouTube land and I can bring you some more. Okay? Much love, everybody. Just know we're doing well. We're going to keep on going. I hope you're going to keep on going too. Just continue to go. Continue to go. You're breathing this morning. You're doing good. Remember that. Stop wallowing in all of the, oh, everything is bad. Yes, we did have the storms, but if we're breathing this morning, we got through it. Much love, everybody.